Describe to people, what is ThinkTank Learning? What does it do for people?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. ThinkTank Learning is a comprehensive education service provider that we help students from middle school age to high school age in areas such as tutoring, after school, and college admission counseling.
All right, so this is a very one-on-one process, or at least a certain portion of it is you can pay depending upon the services that you want from ThinkTank Learning. But what about this idea of a guarantee? And explain the potential fees as high as $600,000.
Well, we have a risk model where it's an algorithm. Basically, we study the likelihood of a child getting into a particular school, and we price our money-back guarantee fee based on the risk. The higher the risk, the more money it is. Most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, the guaranteed price range from $10,000 to $25,000, but it's very special time. Very rarely that price go up to as high as in the article says, $600,000. That really means that the odds of getting into that particular school is very low, and we need to basically compensate our risk by charging that premium.
Stephen Ma, can you describe how your own background led you to create ThinkTank Learning?
So I was in hedge fund. I was what they call quant, and we used statistical model to study the risk. I was actually in the arbitraging business of long high yield bond and shorting the equity. So when I got into education, I thought, well, college admission seems really mysterious. If you talk to 1,000 college counselors, they will tell you different things. It seems like no one knows what's going on. So I basically apply the statistical principle and study students as a whole. So, I mean, any one independent individual will think that he's making a unique artistic decision whether to help a student to do this or that. But as a whole, I mean, all this subjective decision come out to be very objective, if you will. So our model study 12 different variables in a very high 12-dimensional space, and that would tell us whether the student should do SAT, or maybe at a certain point the SAT score improvement doesn't really help that much. Maybe the student should do extracurricular activity. If so, what kind of extracurricular activity? So it's a very objective tool that can tell the counselor and tell the student what to do every step of the way.
Now, Stephen, is this currently targeting a specific market demographic, people that may not have a family history of attending a variety of colleges, so the whole college application process is foreign to them?
No, it is actually not. The model itself is indiscriminatory. So, I mean, it's a fact that we currently serve more Asian American students in our market just because we are in Bay Area and we market toward that segment. But the model itself does not determine itself to be favorable in any particular group. In fact, the model works for all groups with all ethnicities, whether you have prior experience in college admission or not.
Now, you're talking about things like after-school tutoring, focus on test-taking, and guidance counseling. Is the quality that you offer better or any different than if you were to go to someone else, or is it just the algorithm and the scientific analysis that differentiates ThinkTank Learning? Okay,
so I use an analogy of a doctor and the pharmacy. The tutoring, the after-school homework help, the in-class test prep, all of that is considered in my eyes as pharmacy. Those are tools. But you have to have a doctor with prescription telling you what you should take, telling you maybe you should use vitamin B, maybe you should take vitamin A, maybe you should take a Tylenol. So you need a counselor, if you will, in this case our algorithm with person, suggesting to student what you should have. Tutoring does not mean that, well, put it this way, not all students need to be tutored, not all students need to be test prep. So we have that in our service as an arm of tools to better student, but it's a combination of suggestion, guidance, and actually the supplemental help service. If you will, compare us to other competitors, we're more like a guided missile. Our weapon fire with the precision.
Stephen, tell us a little bit about, if you can, the example of the $600,000 payment, because you did end up returning some of it.
Yes, correct. In fact, when we first met the student, this particular student was he was expelled from his previous high school, so he was in the verge of dropping out. And I'm sure that he has, you know, if anyone would met him at that time, no one would actually be able to promise him anything. And in fact, our model suggests that we can actually help him, but the risk was so high that we need to charge an ultra premium. And actually, the model suggests $700,000 with different risk premium tiers. In the end, we kept $400,000 and we returned $300,000. But I think, but the end of the day, because we were able to help and we were willing to help that particular student, we kept the money or not, that student has turned around. Now he's studying at Syracuse University. He's pulling a 3.8 GPA in college. I mean, we have definitely transformed his life, turned over his life around.